What if I told you that emotional stress could be lowering your IQ? Or that 90% of top performers share one skill that's often ignored in our chase for success? Today, I'm going to be speaking with Chitra Rochlani about the hidden cost of being emotionally disconnected and how to fix it. All right, everybody, welcome back. I'm so excited to have my guest and a friend of mine, Chitra Rochlani, and she's here to discuss a crisis that so many of us face. And we have so many discussions on our commuting in and out of New York City together about this, and it is called misalignment. She's going to be giving us an inside look into her new groundbreaking solution, which is called Align, which I'm really proud to be a facilitator of. And it's a virtual membership that offers all access pass to live weekly sessions like emotional freedom technique, manifestation circles, mandala. I'm doing something called Soulful Chapters, which is a book club. And it's really like a gym membership, but it's for your soul and your spirit and your mind. And I'm so excited to have her here today to talk about misalignment and how we can become more aligned through this Align Lab. So welcome, Chitra. How are you?
I am so good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, you and I could really talk about this forever, but I want to start here. The APA stat that you're sharing lately is staggering, and it says that 75% of successful professionals feel misaligned. Why is this feeling so common today? And how do we relate this to this pandemic that we're kind of seeing of people feeling so stressed out and having so much anxiety?
Yeah, it's alarming, isn't it? To think about and this stat says basically, even if they're thriving, they're still feeling this, right?
Mm.
So we are just overwhelmed, as a society right now. And I think at the root cause of it is this desire to achieve a certain level of success, a level of, what we think will give us happiness and joy. And this idea of success that's not truly ours, but kind of borrowed from society and culture that we live in, right? And so
Mhm.
when we are trying to do something that doesn't feel our own, and it doesn't feel like something that we feel good about, but we're just chasing, chasing, chasing because we feel like if we don't, we're going to crash and burn, then it becomes impossible to feel good in our bodies. And then we build stress, and then we build anxiety, and we build overwhelm, and we feel stuck.
Mhm.
And so when we feel all of those things, it's natural that, we're sending that out to everyone around us. And we're feeding this entire society in this culture of stress and anxiety.
How do you define alignment? And then from there, how do you define misalignment?
Yeah. So alignment, I always say we're not miserable because we don't know what to do. We have enough knowledge and information at the fingertips, right? At our fingertips. And there's really not anything we can't learn about once we get on that computer, right? Now with AI, it can be customized information. So it's
Yeah.
not that we don't have information. It's not that we don't know how to feel because we know that something feels off. So we know that there's a feeling that's off. It's not that, we need someone to show us the way because we followed that and that hasn't worked either. What it is that there is no alignment between our thoughts, our words, and our actions, right? And so when we have thoughts that we can verbalize openly, that we can act on openly without having to worry about judgment, consequences, and all of that, that's when we're fully aligned. So that's how I define alignment. Alignment is sync the being in sync with your thoughts, your words, and your actions, where you don't have to feel something on the inside, but you can't say it out loud for fear,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
feel something but not be able to take action on it because you feel stuck. That's misalignment in a nutshell.
And why do you think people are so misaligned? What do you think is going on in our society that people, because I resonate with everything you're saying, and in the realm of quote unquote parts work, alignment would be you being more self led,
Yeah.
right? It would be you being grounded and centered to yourself with a capital S,
Yeah.
and then living life from a place of courage and confidence and a sense and desire to connect and creative and all of these things.
Yeah.
You're in that flow state when you're there versus what you're talking about misalignment. In my world, we'd have these parts that are kind of driving the bus versus ourself,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I have a sense of why we become less self-led.
Yeah.
What do you think is going on that's causing more people to not connect with or to live life from the seat of what they want
Yeah.
and what they know?
Such a great question. And I love your perspective on it. You and I do such similar work in so many ways. But I think at the core of it is that we have forgotten. I just saw a blue jay fly out the window.
Oh, well, that's a sign of something.
I love it. But, it's essentially we've lost our ability to lead with our inner wisdom, right? Like you said, self led. What I say is, just a different way of saying the same thing, which is we have innate wisdom inside of us, right? We have something called intuition. This is
Yeah.
our superpower, right? It's something that we possessed as kids. It's something that pets have. It's something that we see in nature. But we humans, in our chase for more and our chase to grab and keep and hoard and collect, went a little too far, I think, into that ego realm. I say we have a soul and we have an ego. I have this infinity symbol that I downloaded in one of my meditations. And it's literally one side is the ego, one side is the spirit. And the spirit side and the ego side were not meant to be out of sync or misaligned. They were supposed to be completely the same size, the same shape, the same everything, because we were supposed to flow within our spirit and our ego, right? But what happened was in our chase for materialism, we lost sight of that spiritual path. And so we went more and more towards the ego, and the ego side of that infinity loop became bigger and bigger, right? And unfortunately or fortunately, we did not stop to think about what our soul wanted until we started to have problems in that ego side, right? We never
Mm.
learned from pleasure, right? Ideally,
And
we
do you
would.
think that that chase for materialism was, how do I want to put it? Do you think any of it was done in survival? Because I have a
Oh,
lot of thoughts about this. Like, as you're talking, I have like visions of like what's coming to my mind of like, for some people with survival, like
yeah,
what I have is legitimately not enough to survive.
yeah,
So I need more. And then maybe perhaps for some people that may have come easier
yeah,
than for others. And so it wasn't that hard to achieve. So we're going for more and more and more. And now all of a sudden we're kind of lopsided.
yeah,
And or also the other way that I see it is not from that materialism side, but I see that intuition that you're talking about that we're all born with. It's this really innate, as you said, superpower. It's just an innate part of us that I think gets dimmed out. Right. So I think what happens is so many people grow up and we're taught either with words or with actions that we observe to dim our light, to
yeah,
not listen to our intuition, to not trust our gut. Or if we say something from our intuition, sometimes it was met with, you don't know what you're talking about, or
yeah,
you're crazy, or that's ridiculous. And so we created this quote unquote self doubt, right? Or intuition doubt. And we lack the confidence to hear ourselves and go in, to your point, alignment with what felt right. We always say it doesn't connect with my gut, right?
yeah,
Like you have that gut instinct and then we don't follow it. That's your intuition. And sometimes we don't follow it from my seat as the trauma specialist because there were times in our lives early on where following our gut was met with disapproval.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so, because it's so important for us to connect and we collaborate or we connect, connection and approval, there's this correlation. We so desperately want approval because we so desperately need, not want,
yeah,
connection and belonging, that if we feel disapproval, we'll be willing to abandon it. This is what we call about self-abandonment.
yeah.
Often is the misalignment. Would you agree with that?
So the way I look at it is that the soul operates from love, and the ego operates from fear, right? And so
Mm,
a big part of why we are doing this chasing for material or physical, safety in a way. You can look at it as safety. What you were saying is,
Yeah.
did it come from survival? Maybe, right? It came from survival. It came from this need to feel safe so that, I don't run out of the things that I need to survive. But the spirit knows that there is always enough, right? Because I think that our purpose, how many people in this world are looking for purpose, right? They're like, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? I need to know what my calling is. I need to know what my passion is. And yet, most of these people are thinking that when they find their purpose, they're going to go out and make millions with that
Yeah.
purpose. Whereas finding the purpose itself is the purpose of life, right? And then giving it
And that's the
away.
internal wealth.
Yeah. And somewhere along the way we lost our path, whether it was previous generations, whether it was the need of safety, but it's gotten so lopsided that unfortunately we're in a place where we will not make that way back until we have problems in our life.
All right.
Right? So the problems that
So
I talk about are in three areas: health, relationship, and finances. And I'm just going to say one more thing here, which is, if when we start to make our way back to that infinity towards the spiritual side, it really, what that does is it helps you peel the layers of your old conditioning, which is what you're talking about, right? The conditioning that
mhm,
you had as a child from the trauma that was caused is making you act a certain way, even though that's
yeah.
not true to you, right? As we peel those layers and we feel the emotions that we pushed down and didn't allow
Mhm.
ourselves to feel, that's when we start to deal with it and heal, right? So I have my peel, feel, deal, heal framework that I use. And that's essentially, similar to the work you do, but from a different lens.
Mhm, mhm. So I know you, right?
Mhm.
I know you spend a lot of time, you're very intuitive. You spend a lot of time listening to your intuition, listening to guides, meditating. How did this idea that is now called Align, how did this come to you? And what is it that you know is its purpose? Right? Like
Mm.
what is the intention behind this opportunity for people?
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited about this. So, a few years ago, as you already know, I've been a medium for 20 something years now, 26 years, I think, if I had to get accurate. I didn't talk about it to a lot of people. It was just people who either needed it or people who were in my close circle that knew about it. And I just used that gift for myself. That was my gift to my own journey of healing, and I applied it to every piece of me, right? Because I was like, if I have this beautiful gift of connecting to the other side and having guides who can guide me every step of the way, I shouldn't have any problems in my life. Or if I have problems, I should be able to deal with them in a way that doesn't make me, like, too distraught, right? And so it was a journey of about 15 to 20 years for me to go from complete misalignment to full alignment, right? And I
Mhm.
mean, I use full alignment as a term with a little asterisk, because there's really not full alignment. I'm probably still
Right.
going on and on in that journey. So, when 4 or 5 years ago, I finally announced to the world that, hey, by the way, I'm also a medium and an intuitive healer. And that opened up the floodgates for me, because not only did I accept who I was internally, but I put it out
Mhm.
there with alignment, right? And that created a ripple in my life that I can't even tell you. Like, I wrote a book, I started a podcast, I have launched a line, I've become a speaker. These are all things that I probably would not have had the courage to do if I hadn't done that inner work, right? And so I became super passionate about showing people how to do that inner work. But the problem is, when you say,
Mhm.
let's do some inner work, nobody's excited. They're like, oh, I don't know about that. It sounds heavy, it sounds intense.
Amen. It's like going to the gym.
Yeah. It's like going to a freaking boot camp, not even like a regular gym, right? It's not like you're
Right,
gonna go
right.
walk on the
Good point.
treadmill. It's like you're gonna enter some military level boot camp. But
Right.
with Align, the idea came to me in a meditation. And I think what appealed to me a lot about it was that, we go to retreats. Sometimes we feel really good there. And we come back feeling that, like, need for that level of connection that we felt over there in our lives here. And then we can't
Mhm.
find that in our lives here. And then so we feel disconnected again. And so I wanted to have something where people didn't have to think about what work they have to do. They didn't have to hear somebody talk about, this is the work that needs to be done, because you and I are speakers and we do that as well. We'll go and give
Yeah.
talks on this. But at the same time, they had a place where they could just show up and somebody was there to hold space for them. Somebody was there to guide them. And it wasn't a heavy, intense session, right? So we have 7 facilitators. You are one of them. And we have all kinds of fun sessions as well, right? We have some that are some discussion based, meditation based, centering, grounding. And then we have some laughter based. And then we have some creativity based where we're doing mandala art. So I wanted to provide a space for people, a to get the work done, and two, or b, to have consistency, and c, to have that community with them all year round.
So to explain to people, it's like a gym membership.
Yeah.
You have a monthly or an annual membership,
Yes.
and then there's a schedule.
Yes.
And every single day, except for maybe Sundays, right?
Yep.
Just Monday through Saturday, there are opportunities, usually 2 a day, where people can go in and attend a class. Like you might attend a group court, like a group workout class at a gym.
Absolutely.
And I've attended many of them. I don't always have it in my schedule to go to all, but you start every single Monday with meditation. So let's talk about that one. That starts at around
Monday.
8 a.m.
Yeah.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, that's Monday Manifestation Circle. That's with Rachel Radzewski. She's a life coach, a circle facilitator, and she gets us started for the week. And she
Yeah.
gets us into the intention of what we want to achieve that week. And it's never like this pressure filled thing. It's really let's connect our intuition and our strategy, right? Both, and
Mhm.
let's achieve something
Mhm.
meaningful this week. That's it.
And then it gets bookended at the end of Monday with Sandra,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, that's befriend your emotions. And Sandra is a therapist. She is, amazing at helping us understand our emotions, right? Because we have this whole gamut of emotions, which sometimes we don't allow ourselves to feel.
Yeah.
And so she teaches us how to do that with exercises, again, with some grounding work. So we're just consistently tapping into that inner self.
And what I loved about her session that I attended last week was she was really talking a lot about your belief system,
Mhm.
which is a lot of what I do with my clients. And I think it's so important because when we're out of quote unquote misalignment and we're trying to become more aligned, we can't really heal what we don't understand. We can't get to where we want without a map.
Yeah.
And so the core beliefs are such a big, important piece of the roadmap because it helps you understand why you take certain paths, why you think certain things, why you act certain ways. So to me, it was brilliant that that's where she started because that is kind of the guidepost that we need at the trailhead of every single thing in our life is what is your belief system because that changes the way and kind of controls the way that you see yourself, others, and the world around you. And it really defines the paths that you take.
Yeah.
So I thought that that was brilliant. And then what do you have on Tuesdays? Is that Karina with her EFT tapping?
No, that's Wednesdays.
Okay.
Karina does EFT tapping. Tuesdays is my session, which is called Attract, Don't Chase. And that's where we kind of, understand. I started with, like, last week was my first one, and we started with the basic belief that the law of attraction is not something that we need to pull in, that we need to have hacks for. Just like the law of gravity
Mm,
is not something that you hope and pray and wish will work. It just works, right? We don't have to wish that the apple will fall from the tree. It just will. We have belief that it will, right? And the same thing with the law of attraction. But when we're attracting from a place of misalignment, we're attracting things that don't give us pleasure or that
right,
or don't feel good to us. But when we
right.
attract from that place of alignment, it becomes so easy. Like, I'll give you an example. I was at a party 2 days ago, a Diwali party, and I was like, a friend was praising this drink, and she was like, "This is amazing. You got to try it." And I went up to the bartender and I was like, "Can I have one of those?" And he hands me a glass, and I'm like, "How did you know that's what I wanted?" He's like, "I just made it for you." And of course, I'm sure logically, if you think about it, he probably made it for someone else. But that's how easy attraction can become,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And this is a
Hmm.
small example. I've had major things happen in my life, and I don't even think about them now, right?
But I think it's important that you say it. And you and I went to this Gabby Bernstein talk back in January together.
That was
where
another
she
one.
was releasing the book Self-Help. But it's really what you're saying. In her words, it's you can't manifest unless you're self-led. When you're parts led, you can't manifest, right? Your intention is not pure from the seat of your soul. Same thing. It's like we can't attract
Yeah.
what
We
we really
can. Well, we
want.
can.
Well,
We
you're going to attract the wrong thing.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
You
the
can't
thing.
really attract what you really want
Yeah,
unless you're grounded, aligned, in flow.
yeah.
Right. So I think it's important for people to understand that are hearing this. It's all the same stuff. It's just the different flavor of gelato. Right. So, like
Exactly.
in parts work, we want to be self led. And from a place of self leadership, we can attract and manifest all the things that we want in our life because our intentions are in alignment with who we are,
Yes.
right? We're not wearing any masks, we're not wearing any armor, we don't have any other parts running the show. The inmates are not running the asylum.
No, no.
In your case, we're talking about when we can become more in alignment with ourself,
Yep. Our thoughts, words, and
then we can
actions.
right, then we can attract what it is that we want
Yeah.
versus having that misalignment and attracting more of what we don't want, which I have so many examples in my own life of not being mindful of any of this yet 15, 20 years ago, and putting all of my energy, which was all fear based, by the way, towards something that I didn't want and just attracting more of what I didn't want
Yeah.
to a catastrophic level, truly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got very, very quiet and really surrendered
Yeah.
truly
Yeah.
to what was and just said to the universe, I surrender, meaning I am no longer trying to drive this bus myself.
Yeah.
Universe, you drive the bus.
Yeah.
You know what my life's path is supposed to be. I'm along for the ride and I will do all the things I need to do with my intuition based on where I see you're taking me.
Yeah.
But I cannot control outcomes anymore.
No. And, I think the other thing that I'd like to address here is we live in a society that is, conditioned to look for hacks and quick fixes.
Yeah.
Right? We don't
Silver
want to take the
bullets.
time. So it's like a catch 22, right? Like I understand that people are burnt out and stressed out, so they don't have the time to do the work. So they want to find the shortcut. But then they
Sure.
try the shortcut and then that doesn't work. So they get more stressed out and more burnt out. Right. So it's
Right.
kind of like a vicious circle. And the only way in my mind to break that cycle is to put a pause, what you and
Yeah.
I say about invisible backpacks. And I say, not only are you carrying the invisible backpacks, you're carrying them and trying to run on this hamster wheel. So,
Yeah.
my invitation to people is let's stop that hamster wheel for a second, just for a second. Come off the hamster wheel, open up those invisible backpacks, even one at a time, and see, do you really need to carry that forward? Or is it
Mhm.
something that you can let go of? Right? Because that mentality of finding the shortcut and the hack is making you more exhausted, believe it or not. Right. And
Yeah.
on the flip side, what we don't realize is that when we surrender and when we take the time to get aligned, we can attract things that are way more magical than we would
No
have in our limited brains.
No doubt. No doubt. I could talk about this particular topic for a whole hour, but let's just keep going through the week. So,
Sure.
Tuesday, we have your track, don't chase.
Yep. And then
And then,
Wednesday we have EFT tapping at noon.
yeah,
And then Thursday at noon, we have yours, which you want to talk about, maybe. Tell us about, yeah.
sure. So, I'm the facilitator on Thursdays at noon Eastern Standard Time, and I run something called Soulful Chapters. And I'm really excited about this because I've moderated a lot of book discussions starting in 2012 timeframe. I started doing that. So that's a long time. That's
Yeah.
13
12,
years
13 years. Yeah.
where I've been doing it in and out, in and out. And what makes this one unique, there's a few things that make this one unique. Number one, it's the first time I've ever done it virtually. So I like that because I've had a lot of people across the country say to me, gosh, I wish I was closer to you. These are books that I'm looking to dialogue about with other people. So for
Yeah.
those of you who are those people, you can do this now through a line.
Yes. Come
But
on
number
over.
two is I've never been able to do it in a way we're doing it here, which is a drip.
Mm.
which is a week by week. I have taken certain books, like, for example, Daring Greatly, and we did it over a course of like 3 months. So we broke
Mm.
it into thirds, but then you're only meeting once a month. So the time period in between is very extended.
Yeah.
Here, what we're doing, because this is a weekly gym membership and you're attending things weekly, we're going to be addressing a chapter a week
Yeah.
of different books. So the first book that I selected in what I'm calling like a curriculum is The Four Agreements. And I picked The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz because A, it's small yet mighty.
Yeah.
It's from a length perspective, easy to consume, though the concepts are not the easiest to consume. And we can dive into a chapter a week, which essentially at the beginning is like diving into one of the four agreements a week.
Yeah.
And then there's probably two other chapters. Maybe there's 6 or 7 chapters total in the whole book. So that book, let's just say there's 6 chapters, will take us 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And it really allows us to dive into the purpose, the true intention of the book. It's not just to skim it and talk about it for 1 hour, the whole book. We're going to give this book 6, 7 hours,
Yeah.
which I'm already going through chapter or the first agreement again, because we're going to be doing it this Thursday. And I'm already, as I'm rereading it, I'm going, oh, this is going to be a very interesting
I
discussion
can't wait. I'm so
because it's
excited.
very much, not to have a pun, very much in alignment
Yeah.
with what we're seeing today in the world.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really excited for that. And I think
can't wait.
it's
I
one of
think
the most unique ways I've done it. And I think it's going to be really powerful.
it is. Yeah, you just took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say it's going to be very powerful. I can't wait. And I think, there's so much power in discussing each chapter in depth, right? So I'm excited for that. We have a few more sessions the rest of the week. We have Thursday evenings with Seema, which is the mandala art meditation. And I think it was a blast. We had the highest turnout for that class last week, and we had such great, colorful mandalas at the end of it. And I love
Mm,
how she incorporates the meditation into the coloring practice. And it kind of like
mm.
everyone started out thinking, oh, am I doing it right? Am I going out of this? Am I doing that? Am I doing this? And by the end, everyone was like, nobody wanted to look up because she kept talking and she was like, are we done? How are we doing? And we're like in our papers just coloring away. So
I
that's going to
love
be
that. And
Thursday
I
night.
see that as such a beautiful nervous system reset,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Because it's so important to me. That's a mindfulness practice, right?
Yeah.
You're diving deep into being present in the moment, approaching one thing. Your mind could go over here and it could go over here, but you're still in production of something right here, right now, right in front of you. And that's so important when it comes to widening our window,
Yes.
when we're looking to get more capacity
Yeah.
in our life. So I see that as like a great reset, nervous system reset, and great to do.
And it's actually it's like a connection between your left brain and your right brain. You're giving your
Yeah,
left logical brain something to do while you're flowing with the right brain. So
I love
that
it.
integration of the left and right brain is so powerful. I think that it not only gives you that nervous system reset and regulates your system, but it also helps you get more creative.
Mm.
Like right after that session, I was telling people, like, now think about the problems you have and try to come up with solutions.
But again, like going back, this is why I always say, like all these great, um,
Modalities.
it's yeah, all of these methods,
Yeah.
all of these methodologies, all of these different things that we do, they're happening in so many different silos, just with different labels,
Yes.
right? So, for example, again, in the realm of parts work, when we are rooted in self, when we're grounded in self, when we're living life from the seat of self, one of the core qualities of being self-led is that creativity,
Yes. Yeah.
right? And so when we are grounded, when we're in alignment, when we're self-led, everything's so much clearer. We're not so bound down, right? You talk about the inner chatter and the inner clutter.
Yeah.
So we're decluttering the mind, and then everything is so clear. The solutions just are abundant. And to your point earlier, you kind of attract the solution. You're not thinking too hard about it. You're just manifesting it. You're seeing it.
Yeah.
So I love that. And as you know, because you and I text on the side a lot, that, Richard Schwartz, who is the developer of internal family systems, is now finally bringing a program to light that is the spirituality
Yeah.
aspect of internal family systems. So I love the fact that, because it's talked about when you're in training,
Yeah.
but it's not something that people typically know about as a
Yeah.
therapeutic model. So I
Right.
think that that's all coming to light too.
I'm
All
so happy to
right.
hear
So,
that. Yeah. I
so
can't wait.
that's Thursdays. And then what do you have going on for the rest of the week at the
So
Alliance?
Fridays we're gonna have Finding the Funny with Rita, and she is a stand-up comedian, coach. She coaches women how to be have a stand-up bit. So she'll help people literally laugh about some of the problems that we have in our lives. Because let's get real. Sometimes this stuff can get really heavy,
Oh my
and if
God.
we can find a way to just laugh about it, we can find the humor in any situation for the most part, right? Sometimes it can be a little dark humor, but for the most part, we can find something to laugh about in every situation. And she helps us pull that out. And in doing that, you're kind of shifting the way you're building the neurons in your brain from constantly going to worry and anxiety to now thinking, oh, what can I laugh about in this situation? Like, even since I spoke to her about doing this for Align, I find myself now thinking about, oh, what's funny in this situation? Like, this would make a funny bit out of
Mhm.
this crazy situation that I'm in. And so it's making me think differently, and it's making me focus on the positive and the light and the fun. So
I love the through line for all these classes because they all really do connect in so many different ways. And then let's talk about the Align Community Circle on Saturdays.
yeah, but I'll just say I could not have designed this better myself. I know that there was
You
a lot of
didn't. I
divine
would say
help.
your guides designed it.
My guides designed it totally.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
I met Rita 2 days before I was about to finalize all the facilitators, and I was like, I have to have her in there. Like, we need to have this
I
session.
love it.
And everyone, like, I spoke to the way I spoke to you and your soulful chapters, because we were going to do something trauma led first,
Yeah.
and then soulful chapters became a great way to bring it. So I know that my way of coaching people might not be the best for everybody, or your way of coaching people might not be the best for everyone.
Mhm.
But when we all come together and we have different ways of saying the same thing, it has a way of hitting you that it may not have hit before,
No
right?
doubt. It's that repetition, even though it's not the same thing being said, it's the
Yeah.
same messaging over and over and over again.
Yeah. With different
It's
perspectives.
brilliant.
Yeah. Thank
It's
you.
brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you to my guides who guided me to do that. And Saturday, we're going to kind of tie a ribbon on everything that we learned all week, where we just have a casual weekly community circle, and we come together. All the facilitators are welcome, all the members are welcome. We just come. It's like after the gym when you're, kind of done with the week sessions and you just want to hang out on the couch after in the lobby and just have a conversation. That's what the Saturday
Love
circle
it.
is, because we live in an age where loneliness has become a huge epidemic,
Mhm.
in an age where we can connect with people with video calling within seconds, but we're feeling this loneliness, right? And this disconnect.
Yeah.
So having this community circle hopefully will fill that need for people to have like-minded folks around them, people that they're open to sharing their vulnerability with. It's a safe space. It's a place where you can come and make new friends, people who are on the same wavelength as you, and just have some fun and talk about your week.
So, how can people find a line? How do they get signed up? Is
Yeah,
there a way to try before you buy? What? Because
absolutely.
people are going to want to know.
Yeah. So like you said earlier, it's a monthly membership or an annual membership. It is heavily, heavily discounted right now, because if you had to go work with 7 different facilitators
Oh my
and
God.
bring together a platform and a community, it would cost you way more. So I'm so grateful to all of you and the other facilitators who have agreed to do this. So the website is fitwarriorlife.com/align lab. We'll put it in the comments for people to check as well. And right now, they can also come and try out a free week. So when you go to the website at the end, you'll see an option to get a free week pass. So that's where you sign up, and you will get the links to join the Zoom sessions. Everything is virtual, everything is live. So that's the other great thing about it, is that you don't have to plan for travel time, or because I know we're all short on time. So all you have to do is turn on your computer, create a little zen space in your house where you can do this every day for yourself. And some people make it to all the sessions and some don't make it to all the sessions, but I always say trust in the knowing that you will be at every session that you need to be,
Mm.
right? and you will hear all the messages that you need to hear that week. And so I have had people, like, sometimes there's, 4 people in the class, sometimes there's 12. So it doesn't matter, which ones you show up to. I just hope that you will leave feeling better than you came in. And that's our mission at Aligned for
Well, you
all
just
members.
answered my question because I was going to ask you, what do you hope people walk away with?
That's it. That's it. Come get the work done in an easy way, 45 minutes in and out, and you're good for the day. And people are saying things like, I'm hearing feedback now. They're like, the first 3 sessions just cracked me open, and something inside me has
Mm.
shifted. And I can't wait to like dig deeper into this. And then I had somebody who was like, I missed 3 of them, but the 2 I made to was like totally mind blowing. So it's making a difference. I can feel it. I can feel the energy of it. I have corporate people that I'm talking to about bringing this into their wellness world,
To me, I think that that is a no brainer.
right?
So, anybody that's listening right now, I'm calling this out. I feel a chill from head to toe to say this. If you are in an organization where you have the ability to bring a wellness opportunity into your company at a larger level, this is brilliant because a lot of organizations offer, discounts or prorated things to gym memberships. This is a gym for the soul and the mind. And the thing is that we both know as professional speakers in the professional speaking place that burnout is a huge problem and it's a huge financial suck at the bottom line for most organizations. It's probably the thing
Yeah.
that is causing organizations to not be as profitable as they could be. And they could be actually offering this to their employees internally by partnering with you
Yeah.
and allowing people to take 45 minutes in the middle of their day. And there's only a few in the middle of the day. Most of them are either at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day. So it would only benefit an organization to be offering this to their employees because it can actually impact their bottom line in a really, really positive way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was a stat that I read somewhere which said like your IQ can drop 15 points when you're living in that stressful environment all day. Right.
Mhm.
So it's impacting us in ways that we cannot even imagine. And for the companies that are, people who are wellness coordinators or know a wellness coordinator in their company, this is such a no brainer idea because we will come in and do a half day event for your company at no cost to the company, right? And then the company gets to offer this as an add-on, and that
Yeah.
puts you in, this kind of level as an employer where you're like, I want to work here. I want to show up with my best here because they're looking out for my mental and emotional well-being. It's such
No
a
doubt.
like
It's a
win-win-win
win.
across the board. Yeah.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
I mean, I've had like facilitators say to me, this, I'm selfishly excited about this for myself. Right.
Oh, I am for
Right.
sure. And
Yeah.
it was funny because last night, Monday nights, I'm always driving my junior in high school to back to the school at night because he always has something Monday nights there. And last week, I actually sat in my car. So for people who are, on the run, I sat in my car and I attended Sandra's Befriend Your Emotions. Yesterday, I didn't attend it because I was reading the 4 agreements in preparation for Thursday. You got to use your time where you can find it.
Right.
But my point in that is you can do this on the fly.
Yeah.
And it's just, I find it to be brilliant.
Yeah.
And I'm excited not just to be able to attend these sessions when I can, but I am so looking forward to
Me too.
facilitating these really micro weekly explorations of the chapters because I've never had an opportunity to do that before. And I just think it's going to be extra special.
I think
So,
it's going to be fantastic. I mean, I'm
mhm,
personally excited myself, and I get to attend all 7 right now because I'm
yeah.
making sure everything's working well. And I feel different. I feel like I was telling a
Mm,
friend of mine, I was like, I feel like I just came out of a retreat. And imagine if I felt
mm,
like that every week. How great
every
would my
week.
life be? Like, how
And
beautiful.
here's the thing. It's like, as a practitioner, a trauma practitioner, I do get kind of 911 texts from clients from time to time. Do you have space for me this week? And sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. But when you have a membership like
Yeah.
this and you have an all access pass, if you will, to these amazing facilitators, then you can say, I'm feeling out of alignment today.
Yeah.
Some people will call that a crisis. Some people will call that out of alignment. Somebody call it stuck, feeling
Yeah.
like a funk. And you know that there's every single day that week, there is one way that you can just literally click on a link and get into a space to feel seen, heard, understood, and have that space held for you. To me, it's a beautiful lifeline.
It's so good. And, I'll just say one last thing, which is that we don't have enough spaces that offer us love and kindness
No,
and support. And so if
no.
there is a place like that, I urge you to try it out, whether it's Align or something like that. I don't think anything exists like that. A gym for the mind and soul. This was, I think, my previous gym experience as a personal trainer and a nutrition coach that came in handy. But and when that idea came to me, it was like, I know it's a no-brainer. But um having a place just where you can go to be loved and cared for. I mean, we're this is what we're all craving deep down, is that love and attention that we didn't get sometimes when we needed it.
Yeah.
So take advantage of it. Come try it out and see if it makes you feel good. And when it makes you feel good, you'll know that you're aligned.
Mhm. All right. So give people the link again and tell them how they can do their free trial week before they become a member.
Absolutely. It's fitwarriorlife.com/align lab.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I could talk to you for hours, as we usually do.
Thank
Guys,
you.
it's Chitra Rochlani, Fit Warrior Life. She's the creator of the Align Lab, and you've got to check it out today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.